Trump says Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson should be in jail. ICE officers' lives are in danger in Chicago, and at this point, they're aiding and abetting an insurrection. This is nothing more than sabotage and a dereliction of duty. But the mayor says Trump's just trying to lock up another brother.
It's certainly not the first time that Donald Trump has called for the arresting of a black man unjustly. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay firm. Johnson's not very bright. Trump also wants to lock up the white guy. But the white guy's building a wall.
This is a convicted felon. I mean, think about that, who's threatening to jail me. I got to say, this guy's unhinged. He's insecure. He's a wannabe dictator. And there's one thing I really want to say to Donald Trump. If you come for my people, you come through me. So come and get me.
Jamie backs big, but he's not that big. How's Ribs going to stop a chopper?
Imagine being a child awakened in the middle of the night by a Black Hawk helicopter landing on your roof.
Kids in Chicago are getting hit by strays. If they see a Black Hawk land on a roof to round up bad guys, that's a dream come true. Ribs never worried about the children before. He thinks ICE is a bigger threat than street gangs. The whole city's infested.
We learned that the Chicago city streets have 110,000 gang members. That's right, you heard me right. They had 1,200 shootings this year alone, 360 homicides. Parts of Chicago are more dangerous than Afghanistan. 5% of the people in Chicago are gang members. Almost 10% of the city is illegal. So the Guard's going in. Over 500 members of the Guard from Illinois, Texas, and California have been deployed for a 60-day mission. And what's J.B. Back actually going to do about it? Nothing. If he tells Chicago PD to block the Guard, you think the police are loyal to Ribs or the president? The streets are begging for help, and Trump's the president for all Americans, even in Portland.
Yesterday morning, I was broken again for the 10th time. We need help here, and something needs to be done. So if this is what we need to do to get our leaders paying attention to what's happening in Portland, then I think it's a good thing.
A business is burglarized 10 times, and Portland politicians don't want to help? The only explanation is they want to help the criminals help themselves. The Portland mayor is a straight-up crime denier.
The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see footage from a half-decade ago recycled and recycled again. If President Trump came to Portland today, what he would find are people riding their bikes, playing sports, enjoying the sunshine, buying produce at a farmer's market.
People enjoy sunshine and buy produce at farmers markets in Ukraine. Is Ukraine A-OK? And recycled footage? There's been riots for over 100 days. They showed footage of January 6th for 2 years, and that was only one day. And if we needed more proof that Democrats are colluding with Antifa, politicians are coaching them on when to throw Molotov cocktails.
They are trying to tell a story, a reality TV story for a reality TV president. We need to stay away from the ICE facility tonight, where almost assuredly they will have right-wing media influencers, agitators, and videographers to tell a propaganda story about us.
Reality shows aren't scripted. They're just pointing a camera at reality. And Democrats can't face the reality that their cities are unsafe because they'd be responsible for not doing anything about it. So they're blaming the cameras for the crime. Today, Trump held an Antifa roundtable at the White House and invited the real journalists who have been on the ground. Secretary Noem hitched a red eye from Portland and reports there's a major cover-up.
They are absolutely covering up the terrorism that is hitting their streets. The damage that they've done, these leaders in these local cities, along with Pritzker and Johnson, ignore what's going on, or, sir, they're helping Antifa cover it up.
Antifa assailants are assaulting reporters, giving them black eyes, and cops are letting them off.
I watched 20 Antifa militants help my assault suspect escape into an Antifa safe house that is 1 block away from the ICE facility. It's where they're resting, they're showering, they're eating to continue this occupation. I have staked out this safe house and have observed shift changes. This group is highly organized. It is being funded through mutual aid groups. and they have no plans of stopping.
The press is under attack, and the White House press couldn't care less. They're complaining about Trump waking them up on Air Force One, while brave reporters are documenting the dangers of domestic terrorism in blue cities.
My question for all of you is, how would you feel if every time you showed up to work, masked militants tried to kill you? Because that's how we feel. That's our lived reality. And you guys go and tell us that we're liars, the riots aren't that bad, right? I've never seen any of you guys on the ground. In fact, I've never seen anybody representing the companies you work for on the ground.
And welcome to Hannity. We begin tonight with a Fox News alert. Major, huge breaking news from the Middle East tonight. The war in Gaza is now coming to an end. The White House is now confirming the deal between Israel. Hamas is signed. It is sealed. It is delivered. The White House is now confirming the deal between Israel and Hamas is, in fact, at that point moments ago on Truth Social. President Trump posted the following, quote, "I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan." Now, this means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar and Egypt and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic, unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. Now, this is real transformational history in the making. President Trump, he will join us on this show in just a moment. But so many major things had to happen for this historic moment to occur. For decades, most Arab nations, they have been completely unwilling to participate in helping to resolve this never-ending conflict. President Trump was able to build a coalition likely unthinkable 2 years ago, one day after the historic, horrific, unprovoked attacks on Israel, October 7, 2023, the equivalent of 40,000 dead Americans in a day, 1,500 dead Israelis. They have a small population. The president successfully negotiated these countries' commitments and involvement. Also, President Trump was able to work with Israel after building a great relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu. And the Prime Minister was then willing to trust the president, sign off on concessions to build a lasting peace and the security guarantees that Israel will need to move forward. But perhaps the most powerful message that President Donald J. Trump sent to the entire Middle East, the loudest message possible, was when the president followed through the principle of peace through strength. He gave Iran a deadline for peace. And when they rejected it, President Trump obliterated the Iranian nuclear sites this summer. Now, the president said in the lead up to tonight that we can do this the easy way or they can do it the hard way. He warned in no uncertain terms Hamas that if they did not take the deal, he used the word, they would be obliterated. Does anyone doubt that would have been the next step? According to a report from our very own Jennifer Griffin, all 20 living hostages will be freed on the same day. There will be no ceremonies inside of Gaza to humiliate the hostages before they are handed over. Hours ago, here is how the president learned of the news during a press conference about Antifa. Take a look.
Well, they're smart, but they're not smart enough. Oh, my microphone's broken. Departments to find the criminal conspiracy.
Okay. I'm just giving. Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly.
There is now no doubt this president will go down in history as a peacemaking president. Whether the Democrats like it or not, President Trump, again, will join us in a few moments with details and more on this massive development and this breaking news. It's good for the entire world.
And on your way out, don't forget to help yourself to the bucket of crawdads. Happy Wednesday, everyone. So CNN's Caitlin Collins revealed staffers secretly dread traveling with President Trump because he does not sleep. Conversely, Biden staffers dreaded traveling with Joe because he does not wipe. It's day 8 of the government shutdown. It's getting scary. They're already considering getting a backup generator for Mitch McConnell. They say the shutdown could cost the economy approximately $15 billion a week. To put that in perspective, that's $15 billion more than Kilmeade's book sales. Yeah. After receiving criticism for height shaming, AOC now claims she actually loves short people. In fact, she's hiding 3 of them in her ass. It's a compliment. KFC is once again offering its original honey barbecue flavor. In a related story, guess who just bought 4 metric tons of napkins? According to a new study, our brains only have the capacity to deal with 150 friends. Well, you still have 149 to go, Jesse. I counted his wife as a friend. Oh. Not the kids, though. They hate him. An Ohio zoo is asking the public to name its newborn baby rhino. You know, ABC did the same thing after they adopted 5 new dairy cows. Never fails. Why stop? J.B. Pritzker says President Trump deploying troops to Chicago is due to his obsessive fixations. Yeah, this from the guy who every time he steps on a crack, he has to eat a pizza. Meanwhile, Trump says Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson should be in jail. Yeah. Why? But why those two? Well, in case Pritzker gets hungry. And finally, James Comey was arraigned today regarding federal charges of lying to Congress. You know, just for fun, they should give him this many days. So apparently Democrats have a new plan to win back young men. And it's not inventing a time machine to undo the last 8 years where dudes wore muumuus and a dead guy was elected president. The party is testing everything from beer ads to left-wing influencers. In other words, they're trying to rebrand a bad product instead of putting out a good one. They're even trying something called gym outreach. Yeah, gym outreach, which, by the way, was my stage name when I made those films to pay my way through community college. Those were the days. Democrat operatives are paying left-leaning fitness influencers to create online content. Think about that. They're paying guys to pretend that they're masculine liberals. And here I thought that was what Hollywood was for. But the same guys who called physical fitness white supremacy now pretend that they like the bench press. Finally, a transition that doesn't make you cut anything off except the carbs. But give the Dems some credit. At least they're finally recognizing that their typical male supporter is a smelly life support system for a man bun. I mean, you know you're in trouble when your Rambo is Beto O'Rourke. And if this is your party's answer to Clint Eastwood, yeah. No wonder Democrat men start menstruating. And this is your action hero? He banged the first girl who ever talked to him. And she did it because she was a spy. Now, it's good they're hitting the gym, but we do it for ourselves, not for political advantage. There's a difference there. Republicans go because we like work, we like strength, we like winning, we like women doing lunges and Lululemons. And look, I mean, look at me. You think all this happens without hours at the gym? Yeah. Shout out to my personal trainer, Seth. Yeah. Don't wait up. But once again, Trump is lifting up Americans, including his opponents. Guys that look like David Hogg, or a hog, period, are going to the gym now just to beat Trump. But this gym, it could be a doorway to the logic of hard work. Maybe the left won't resent people that succeed if they see what happens when they succeed. How soon before they discover other healthy habits like proper hygiene and not eating your body weight in bear claws? And it's helping female Democrats too, who now realize that a guy who looks like Pete Hegseth and can carry the groceries is far more preferable to their soy-flavored emotional support animals, whose idea of pleasing a woman in the bedroom is to vacuum it. Of course, you're going to have to know exactly what a woman is, or dudes will split. Because young men, they like young women too, a lot, especially the ones without penises. So change is afoot. Suddenly, the Dems are like, wait, these Republican guys are strong and confident. Maybe we overcorrected. A little toxicity is kind of hot. And maybe being a helpless, perpetual whiner isn't the path to happiness. We call that growth. And the first step is admitting you were wrong. The second step is admitting you were wrong again, because I never get tired of hearing it. But also, why not unblock all your conservative loved ones and admit that they're not Hitler, even those with an undescended testicle?
What? You know, so not right. I'd storm off if Katie Porter didn't beat me to it.
I'll be finished in a little bit, young man.
Thank you very much.
And even if the liberals' fitness is driven by politics, who cares? They'll soon discover testosterone. Then along with it, logic and reason, and poof, they're wearing khakis and voting Republican. Fact is, you can't... Hold your applause. Till we meet later. Fact is, you can't be into fitness and into socialism, gender ideology, or open borders. There is no redistribution at the gym. You can't take someone else's well-earned muscles. And you can't tell everyone that your scrawny biceps identify as 20-inch pythons. And you can't work out at a good gym unless you're a member. But that's the hidden genius of Trump. He doesn't just make America great again, he makes his enemies better too. By leaving the left in the dust, he's raised the bar, which has forced them to start lifting it. Let's welcome tonight's guest. The original name of his show was One Nation Hates Him. Host of One Nation and Fox and Friends, Brian Kilmeade. She went from interviewing Smashing Pumpkins to digesting prunes. Host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. He calls ICE on his comedy show so that someone will show up. Comedian Adam Hunter. And when the FBI spied on her phone, they only got info on how to poison your boss. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor, Cat too. You know, Brian, I know physical fitness and looking good is not really your thing, but do you think that it's okay to fake fitness to reach voters? Is that a weird thing?
First off, I had to get paid for those 2 appearances during your monologue, which I knew nothing about. First off, I dare you mess with my upper body. I am clean shaven, I'm defined, I have great biceps, my deltoids that I kill for, not even to bring up my triceps, but I digress. First off, let's talk about authenticity. You have RFK, who was fit before he was HHS secretary. Pete Hegseth walked around here with a tank top and tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
We always knew how fit he was.
You know
But
it.
you have Javier Becerra and Lloyd Austin. Let me ask you, who bleeds fitness? It is, of course, these guys. They were cheering for Donald Trump at UFC events before he thought about running for president. He loves golf. He shows up at the Ryder Cup. It becomes a frat party. This is all very authentic and sincere. This is who they are. The problem is they spend $10 million. Am I going too long? They spend $10 million on a focus group to find out why Democrats are bleeding men. $10 million. All they have to find out is what men want and what they stand for, and then work through that lane. The one thing that Trump has brought, you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself. He's tough. He's crude. He is insulting, but that's who he is, and America embraces it. And these other people trying to do that is the problem. Schumer cursed today.
I
Schumer
saw
hasn't
that.
cursed since
Yeah.
1981.
Yeah, he's like Burgess Meredith from the Batman series, but on life support. Kennedy, there is that phrase, fake it till you make it. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Do you think the Democrats can fake being into something that guys like until they make it? I'm not crazy about the idea of I feel like they have the equation reversed. It's like we're interested in Trump. It's not like they can just suddenly make us interested in them.
It's like trying to fake the male orgasm. And they'll probably do that too.
Perfect answer.
No, you were on the 5 earlier, and I'm surprised you didn't have that take on there.
I did. They bleep me. I'm always getting censored. But this is from the party that, you know, when Pete Hegseth came out and said, we have to have standards of physical fitness in the military in order to be lethal and effective and feared. And it was the Democrats on MSNBC were like, oh my God, that is so sizist and disgusting. So you're telling me that you want women to do difficult things in the military in order to complete tasks so they can compete on the global stage? What is wrong with you, you monster? And it's like demonizing physical fitness. So like these poor generals. So you're telling me you want the people who lead the military to be able to do the physical fitness standards that other people in the military have to kill themselves trying to do? What is wrong with you? So it's like, you've already shown what you despise.
Right.
And you can't, it is so, to Brian's point and his undescended testicle, it is so inauthentic the next day to be like, oh my God, I think going to the gym is great, right? Like, I go here. It's so natural.
It's almost like, Adam, you would understand this. It's almost like a racist saying there, oh, I love black people. You get that.
Oh, all the time. Look, I mean, to your point, I think everyone should try to get in shape. Like, I'm on this new diet called Get Fatter Friends, where I just hang out. But I do think that, like, I don't get my politics from a fitness influencer, just like I don't get my fitness from Chris Christie.
Yes.
You know, and I think people should stay out of it because I think it gets to be too much. Pretty soon you're going to be watching a porn, and the guy in the middle of it is going to be like, I'm getting an STD right now, but that's okay because Republicans are taking away my health care. It just... It's just like, but I do like that they're doing, like, guys like Gavin Newsom are doing, like, this bro podcast because it's exposing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, I'm a Swiftie, but he can't name one Taylor Swift song.
Yes.
Which is like saying, I use deodorant, but I'm French.
So, Kat, I'm trying to think, is there like an analogy of liberals invading, Republicans invading like a liberal bastion and saying, if we just hang out here, you know what I mean? It feels like they're poaching. They're trying to poach people, but it's not working.
Yeah, I don't feel like Democrats need to go to the gym. I think they just need to go somewhere.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't feel like it should be that complicated.
Yeah, you're right.
Instead of maybe sitting around, like, running analytics on men, why don't you just go out and meet them?
Right.
Like, they're not like mythical creatures in a forest. You can just you can just go talk to dudes.
Yes, it's not that hard.
You don't have to. It's actually too easy.
Yeah,
it's harder to not talk to dudes than it is to talk.
Just
to dudes.
unbutton the top button. It works for me.
But they're acting like that you need to, like, create men in a laboratory and then, like, run tests on them. Just go outside. Go to a place where people are. But you have to talk, and you also have to listen.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen without looking for a thing where it's like, well, actually, this thing you said. You have to just listen.
Yeah, but it's you know what? You're saying it's easy to go outside, but that might be the number one issue is that they don't like going outside in general.
No. Well, who does?
Yeah, that's true. Outside sucks. Thank God we invented the inside. What were they doing before there was inside? Outside all the time. Hey, you can't go home. There's no home.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.